There is a specific stretch of the highway, about 2 kilometers long, which locals call the Missing Mile, Nirudesher Mor. It is said that at one time, many terrible accidents occurred on this road, and many people went missing. Arko did not believe these rumors. He was riding his bike to Diga one winter night. It was around 2:30 a.m. As Arko entered the Missing Mile, the weather suddenly turned unusually cold. A dense fog descended all around, which does not usually happen so quickly in winter. The invisible passenger. Due to the fog, Arko slowed down his bike. He saw a 10 or 11-year-old girl standing alone by the roadside in a white dress. The girl's face was unusually pale. Arko felt bad seeing a little girl alone on a deserted highway so late at night. He stopped his bike and asked, "What happened, dear? What are you doing here this late?" The girl did not say anything, but just stared at Arko and gestured behind her. Arko hesitated and said, "All right, if you're going that way, get on behind me. I will drop you off a little further." The girl again said nothing, but slowly climbed onto the back of the bike. Arko could feel a weight settling behind him. He started driving the bike carefully. The reflection in the mirror. After driving for about a kilometer, Arko thought he should talk to the girl and ask about her destination. He looked into the bike's side mirror so he could speak to her. But what he saw in the mirror made all the blood in his body freeze. There was no girl behind him. The bike seat was completely empty. Yet, Arko could still feel a cold touch on his back. He could feel the weight, but there was no shadow or figure in the mirror. In panic, Arko suddenly slammed the brakes. As the bike came to a stop, Arko felt the cold weight lift from his back. But immediately, a breathing sound was heard very close to his ear. Then, a hoarse, dry voice whispered, "Why did you stop already? I haven't gotten off yet." Arko screamed and, without looking back, started the bike and sped through the remaining 2 kilometers of road like lightning. Looking back, when Arko finally stopped at a petrol pump, shaking with fear, he saw that on the back of his bike, exactly where the girl had sat, a small handprint was clearly visible in the condensation from the dense fog. Later, Arko found out that many years ago, a family had an accident on that Missing Mile, and the little girl went missing. Her body was reportedly never found. Russellbrook, Arko still does not go on long bike drives alone at night. He believes that the spirit still waits on that road for another missing traveler. Before moving on to the next story, please subscribe to the channel. So let's begin the next incident. Location: an old rental house on the outskirts of Kolkata. Sender: Priya. Pseudonym: university student. Russellbrook: last year, I moved out of the hostel and started living with friends in an old rental house. The house was quite large, but had been vacant for many years. The owner informed us that there was one item they couldn't remove: a huge antique dressing table placed in the corner of the living room. The woodwork suggested it was centuries old. The shifting reflection. Initially, we were quite charmed by the dressing table. But after a few days, I noticed something odd about the mirror. When I stood in front of it, my reflection would very slowly change. I might be smiling, but instead of a subtle, faint smile, my reflection would show a terribly exhausted or melancholic expression. At first, I thought it was a lighting issue. But one night, as I was brushing my hair in front of the dressing table, my reflection suddenly stopped moving. I kept brushing my hair, but the Rhea inside the mirror stood perfectly still. My hands froze with fear. When I looked at the reflection in panic, I saw the Rhea inside the mirror staring back at me, her eyes brimming with tears. The shadow of darkness. The following days made things worse. A low, suppressed sound of weeping began to emanate from the dressing table at night. One night, my friend Tina came home and told us she saw me standing in front of the dressing table talking to myself while she was on the balcony. Yet I was sound asleep in my bed. Hearing Tina's account, we decided to investigate also added, the soul inside the mirror supposedly sucks the happiness and vitality out of anyone who looks at themselves in it for too long. The midnight scream. After hearing this, we quickly decided to cover the mirror up. But that very night, everything came to a head. It was around 3 a.m. I was jolted awake by my friend's terrified scream. The room was dark, but a strange bluish light was coming from the dressing table mirror. We quickly turned on the main light. We saw my friend Tina standing silently in front of the mirror. She was staring into it, her eyes wide open, unblinking. The most terrifying sight was the reflection. Inside the mirror, Tina's reflection was not alone. Standing behind Tina's reflection was a long-haired, pale-faced girl. The girl was strangling Tina's reflection with her hands. We screamed and rushed to pull Tina away. The moment we touched her, the girl inside the mirror looked directly at us and let out a sharp, piercing shriek before letting go of Tina. Tina fainted, and we saw three marks on her neck, exactly as if someone had tightly squeezed her throat with their fingers. We immediately left that house. We still don't know if we had waited any longer, would the melancholic spirit